It is 1 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. It is 6 p.m. in Beijing. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is World One, live from London. They married a man whose name became synonymous with terror. Now, almost a year after Osama bin Laden was killed, his 3 widows have been ejected from Pakistan. 14 members of the al-Qaeda leader's family were deported to Saudi Arabia. A Pakistani court previously found them guilty of being in Pakistan illegally. Authorities said the 3 women chose to be sent to Saudi Arabia. Well, there were celebrations in the U.S. a year ago when bin Laden was killed, and the photo of President Obama watching the operation from the Situation Room has become an enduring image of his administration. Mohammed Jamjoon has been following the story. He joins us now from CNN Abu Dhabi. Mohammed, let's talk a little bit about Osama bin Laden's widows and why they're being deported to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is a place where not only will they be taken in, will they be welcome, but it will be very hard for people to be able to access them wherever they live, whether it's a family compound.
There at CNN Abu Dhabi. His philosophy of football, played with style and speed, made his team possibly the best in the world. But for Pep Guardiola, it's all over at Barcelona. CNN understands he will say shortly that he is leaving as the club's manager, one of the biggest jobs in football. Alex Thomas joins us now live with more on this. What prompted, you think, this decision? I mean, Barcelona is the biggest team in the world.
Yeah, but also you could argue one of the most satisfying to coach if you're going to be a football manager. A
lot of pressure, one can understand. All right, Alex, of course, you'll have more on that a little bit later on for us here on World One. You are watching World One live from London, facing off from a distance. France's 2 presidential contenders were both live on French TV Thursday night, but they didn't go head-to-head. They went one after the other. François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy took turns to answer questions. Immigration, jobs, and the economy were some of the talking points. And though she wasn't present, far right-wing leader Marine Le Pen cast a shadow over the debate. We want to cross to Paris and speak to CNN senior international correspondent Jim Bitterman. Jim, how do they both look?
Well, I think we've got 2 different versions of the 2 men who are running for presidency.
Thank you, Jim Bitterman there in Paris. This is World One, live from London. A blind Chinese activist has escaped from house arrest. That's according to a friend who says she helped him get away. Chen Guangcheng slipped past guards in front of his home in the province of Shandong. His friend says he is now in hiding in Beijing. The lawyer for the man who shot and killed an unarmed 17-year-old in Florida said recently that his client had no money. Now, he says, donations have poured in for George Zimmerman's defense fund. Concerns about the U.S. Secret Service prostitution controversy, with indications the scandal, which began in Colombia earlier this month, may be widening beyond Cartagena. Brian Todd has details on the latest allegations of misconduct.
A congressional source tells CNN.
The UN Secretary General says the Syrian government is violating Kofi Annan's peace plan. Ban Ki-moon says tanks and troops are still deployed in towns and cities despite the presence of a handful. A draft United Nations resolution is warning Sudan and South Sudan to end the violence along their border or face sanctions. The document calls on both sides to abide by an African Union demand that they stop fighting within 48 hours and withdraw troops from disputed areas. David McKenzie has been following the story from Nairobi in Kenya. And David, these are 2, well, the poorest countries, among the poorest countries in the world. South Sudan, barely a year old. Sanctions could be crippling.
Well, definitely sanctions would be crippling, but it's kind of the big stick option in diplomacy.
David, thank you. David McKenzie there in Nairobi. You are watching World One live from London. In Barcelona, they are getting ready to lose their pep. Alex Thomas is up next with the news. But, what's trending on social media right now? And it's a lot of sports, I'm going to tell you. At number 3, Michael Jordan's winning streak as a player hasn't rubbed off on the NBA team that he now owns. The Charlotte Bobcats lost their 23rd game in a row on Thursday, ending the season with the worst winning percentage in the history of the league. Ouch. At number 2, you know it's time for the NFL draft when every one of the top 10 searches on Google are American football teams and players. On Thursday, teams kicked off the process of recruiting new players from college football. The Indianapolis Colts got the number 1 pick, and they must be hoping quarterback Andrew Luck lives up to his name. And at number 1, Pep Guardiola's planned departure from Barcelona has put web conversation into overdrive. It's no surprise, as he is the most successful manager in the club's history, winning 13 trophies in just 4 years. Now, one person just tweeted this: "I would genuinely like to thank Pep Guardiola for what he's allowed me to watch over the last 4 years. Pure genius." I think we'd all like to have someone say that about us. Eh, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people say it about you all the time, don't they, Monita? Yes, just to confirm that news then, Pep Guardiola's brother and agent has confirmed to CNN that the Barcelona coach will quit the Camp Nou next month, although we won't know the exact reasons.
You are watching World One live from London. Kate Middleton stole the hearts of viewers around the world when she married Prince William. A year ago on Sunday, the year that followed firmly established Kate as a, well, some would say a fashion icon and trendsetter. As our royal correspondent Max Foster reports, the Duchess of Cambridge has been a smashing success.
The biggest day of her life and one of the biggest media events in history.
Our very own royal insider, that Max Foster, joins us now and here in the studio to tell us about a meeting last night between the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and a young subject in a Superman suit.
There I was, Super Baby.
Super Baby?
Yeah, there I was with Super Baby in a room, and then Catherine comes over, starts interrupting.
Yeah, of course.
And then, yeah, she starts off sort of talking to the parents of this baby.
Beautiful woman. And the cameras do love her. Thanks a lot for that, Max. Appreciate that. Well, Europe has been having its fair share of rain in the last few days. Some people in the UK are saying it is the wettest drought. Can you believe we are in a drought? They can remember our Tom Saters at the World Weather Center with more on that. We are still in a drought, apparently.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense, does it, Monita? Wettest drought, what's going on? Water restrictions, why do we have this? It's been raining for days. A tale of two stories, and hopefully those water restrictions will be lifted shortly in the southern part of the UK.
All right, Tom, thank you very much for that. You are watching World One live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you of the news headlines at the top of the hour right here on CNN.